Hey there, Coach Micheal Burt, Super Coach Show. Come to your life every week to multiply your money, multiply your business, and multiply your life. I'm Coach Micheal Burt, the Super Coach, right here on the Whatever It Takes Network. And today's topic is a great one. It's called The First Million is the Hardest. You know it is. I know it is. Anybody that's ever started a small business knows it is. And so today we're going to talk about how you get to the $1 million threshold in your business and eventually get to a multi-million-dollar revenue that makes you a millionaire in the process. Now, you know my basic belief, if you watch Super Coach every week or listen to us on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, or Podcast Republic, I believe everybody needs a good coach in life. I believe 1 hour can change your life. I believe your podcast, your TV show, your radio can become your coach. And every week we always seek to find the kryptonite in your life. That's one thing that's holding you back from taking it to monster production levels. You can follow me at Micheal Burt or search Coach Micheal Burt. Go to my website, coachburt.com. Every week we bring relevant conversation to you. Every week I do three things for you. I challenge you to have conversations you don't want to have. I make you do some things you don't want to do. But I help you become something you didn't think you could become. I used to say straight out of the locker room, right into your life, I'm leadership expert, super coach, Micheal Burt. Now, topic today, first million is the hardest. When I started thinking about this, I was thinking about strategies that I could give you and to my own self to break your company through from this infamous threshold. And you say, well, it's not much of a threshold. There's lots of people that build $1 million companies. Not true. Not small businesses. I've even heard it said that sometimes less than 4% of small businesses, solopreneurs, single entrepreneurs, one employee, will ever break the $1 million threshold in revenue, gross revenue generated. Many even say 9 out of 10 will go out of business in the first 5 years, and if not the first 5 years, then definitely in 10 years. Some will scratch and claw only to end up having a nice lifestyle business that gives them days off when they want it and they work when they want, but they never break through to build a business that kicks off millions of dollars of extra revenue that they can then reinvest. So when I think about this, I go back to 2002 when I was a high school women's basketball coach, and I went to a Achievers Circle by a guy named Mark LeBlanc, who was a small business guru, a success guru. And he said, guys, the first threshold you'll ever have to break through in your life personally is to earn $100,000 in personal income. And he went around the room, about 15 to 20 people, and he asked every person what was their dominant, what he called a dominant focus, a single tangible outcome they would like to drive in a 12-month cycle as measured in 30-day windows. And then he asked what their optimistic number was every single month. Guy beside me said $83,000. I said, $83,000? Because 83,000 times 12 is $1 million, see. If you want to sell $1 million, you got to sell $83,333 per 30 days or $250,000 per quarter. Guy on this side of me said $20,000. Okay, I'm sitting there looking, he gets to me, and I said, I'd like to just sell $5,000. If I could just sell $5,000 more a month, I'd have $60,000 more a year. And to go with my coaching supplement of what I was making as a coach, 60 and 60 or 40 and 60, I'd make $100,000. And I said, man, I'll be in tall cotton, man, if I can make $100,000 a year. My think was too small. As you hear Cardone talk about add a zero, baby, add a digit, grow it up, go from baby money to big money. At that time, I was thinking about little bitty baby money. We charge more than that for a single speaking engagement today. And so when you think about this, I remembered that statement. Very few people will ever break the threshold. And when I went to Strategic Coach in Chicago, a coaching program I was in, the instructor got up in front of the class and said this. He said, less than 8%, and I think it's 12% today, less than 8% of the total population will ever break the $100,000 in personal income level. And that's how much you had to make and show on your tax returns to get into strategic coach. At that time, I made about $106,000. So I barely squeaked in. So I'm on this journey with you. I'm not sitting up here trying to tell you that, hey, this is hard. Here's what I tell you. Making $1 million is damn hard. I don't care what anybody says. It's hard to make the first million. Statistics tell us today that 67% of all small businesses out there in America will break even or lose money at the end of every month. Now, let me tell you something. That is not success. For if you're out there scratching, clawing, trying to make it through, you may say, if I could just break even, that's success. You got to rethink this, baby. You got to change your think. Now, in 2008, I started my business, my coaching business, Micheal Burt Enterprises. At that time, it was called Maximum Success. I didn't really know what I was doing. I was trying to add value. I did not understand that money only changes hands when problems are solved. I started my business right in the middle of the Depression. Not the Depression, the recession. There's a lot of depressed people. And so it didn't occur to me to even listen to people that this was a bad time to start a business. But here's what I remembered, and here's what I know, and something I want you to take away today. I started my business in a recession, but lots of people needed help. If you agree that money only changes hands when problems are solved, there's a lot of problems for me to solve. So I was signing six-figure contracts, big coaching assignments because people had ran out of options and they needed something else. So I started that first year, and I still remember it like it was yesterday. I went out and I drove $75,000 of revenue. Now, I was only making $60 as a coach, and I drove $75,000. I got to the very end of the year, and I get an accounting statement that showed a negative on my profit and loss. I called my accountant. I said, man, you screwed something up. We made $75,000 this year. And the accountant said, you didn't make $75,000. You lost $35,000. I said, how is that? I said, how much did your assistant cost? $35,000. You see, I thought we'd went out and made a bunch of money. We didn't make any money. We lost money. So if you study some big-time people like Gladwell's going to tell you it takes 10,000 hours of practice. Usually at the 10-year mark, you have a tipping point. That has to do with the collusion of practice and trying and recalibrating. Many big-time people had breakthroughs at the 10,000-hour mark. If you read Good to Great, Jim Collins is going to tell you that it's about the flywheel and the doom loop. It's about building momentum over and over and over. I'm going to tell you this, man. First million's the hardest. So today we're going to tackle how to break through that $1 million level. I'm going to show you the pain, the problem, and the solution. Let me give you the first kryptonite to get us started. First kryptonite's real simple, and this is what we're going to lead into after the break. You have designed a poorly designed business. So remember this, a business is designed before there is a business. If you poorly design that business, you always have to recalibrate that business. So when you design this business plan, you got to remember this. You design a business, but much of the revenue is dependent solely on you. And there's only one of you. This is a big business mistake that I made that we are now paying the price for. You're watching a Super Coach show today. When we come back in segment number 2, we're going to tackle why the first million is always the hardest. This is Coach Micheal Burt on the Whatever It Takes Network. Hey guys, I'm Coach Micheal Burt. So many people around the country want coaching, but they don't think they can afford it. I heard this over and over and over. So just for you, I've created an online corporate membership where you get access to over 80 workshops a year. And here's the best part, $99. 5 workshops a month to 7 workshops a month with me, the Super Coach, on everything you can imagine. Sales, leadership, marketing, branding, positioning, all of our best stuff in workshops that you can now get online for just $99. Go to CoachBurt.com, sign up under memberships, and start getting some time with the Super Coach. I'll find a kryptonite in your life and help you play at another level. Hey guys, welcome back. Coach Micheal Burt, Super Coach, every Tuesday, 3 p.m. on the Whatever It Takes Network. Follow me at Micheal Burt on the Twitter. If you send me your questions, I'm always get back to people. I'm known just to pick up the phone and call customers that order my books online and check in with them. I hope you're enjoying the show. I hope you enjoy Super Coach. You can listen to us on Stitcher, my favorite app, Podcast, Republic, iTunes, Anywhere that you go out there and get it, search Coach Micheal Burt, Super Coach. Today we're talking first million is the hardest. And if you've ever started a business, you're probably in the 96% of businesses that are not making $1 million in personal income. And here's the deal. It's going to be hard for you to become a millionaire if you can't build a business that generates over $1 million. Now, we did a show not long ago, maybe 2 months ago, called The Self-Made Billionaire. And these are people who've created businesses that produce over $1 billion of volume. Many of them have become billionaires in the process. So today we're talking why the first million is the hardest. Less than 4% of small businesses out there will break the $1 million. Most of them are lifestyle businesses, which means you can take off. And it still reminds me of a day I walked into the Dairy Queen. Don't tell my trainer. Walked into the Dairy Queen to get an ice cream cone. And the owner of the Dairy Queen was behind the counter. And I said, man, congratulations on being the owner of this new Dairy Queen. Are you enjoying working here? He said, oh, man, I love it. I said, why do you love it so much? He said, because I get to pick which 80 hours I work every week. I said, man, you don't understand the concept here. You're supposed to build a business that gives you excess cash that you can then reinvest so you don't have to work 80 hours a week. See, most small business owners don't own a business, they own a job. They have to be there. So let's talk about some reasons why the first million is the hardest. And there's a lot of reasons. But I'm going to give you some of the mistakes that I've made, I personally made, in the way I've designed my business that has kept us from really expanding to the multi-million-dollar level. Number one, most businesses start with a bad business design. Let me say that again. Kiyosaki used to say every business is designed before there is a business. All things are created twice, first mentally, then physically. Just like a house is built, there's a blueprint and there's a foundation and there's actual building. Well, your business is the exact same way. Every business is designed before there is a business. So when you think about this, here's what I would tell you. The poorly designed business is designed around the entrepreneur, the solopreneur, with no thought about scalability or no thought about franchising, no thought about building multiple locations. There's no thought of that. Remember, a business is designed before there is a business. Small biz owners get crushed in taxes and overhead. Small business owners get crushed in taxes and overhead. So what you have to do is you have to design a business to franchise or design it to sell. My favorite book is a book called Built to Sell by John Warlow. Built to Sell. One of the things we've done is we're multiplying our sales team beginning next week. If you're interested in being on my sales team, info@coachburt.com. Send your stuff in. Send your video in to me. We'll look at it because we're going to multiply this baby fast. It's part of a scalability plan. We also have recurring revenue models where people pay a monthly fee for our coaching program. You saw one on the commercial. Right now, it's only $49.95 per month, not even $99.95 per month. So when you think about this, design your business to franchise it or sell it. Design it to scale from the beginning. You may have to recalibrate your business after you have designed a business and are up and making some money, which is what I've had to do. Number two, many don't have the capital to expand and are susceptible to what's called a sales stall. Now, this is what I call the freak out moment. The reason small business owners and entrepreneurs sit on piles of cash is because they have been burned at some point in the past by a sales stall. That means all of a sudden the faucet was turned off. There's no money coming in. There's no selling. And so you're sitting over here on this pile of cash and you're going, I can't touch that pile of cash. I can't invest it. I can't grow it. I can't add infrastructure because, hey, we may have a bad month. And if we have 2 bad months back to back, man, we're in big trouble. So most small businesses have a capital problem. They don't have enough money. And when you don't have enough money, you can't get customers, you can't add staff, you can't do anything. You're still running a small business. You own a job. Also, another thing that happens when you ramp up on customers, many times it leaves little time for marketing and selling. So one problem you may have, and we've experienced this one too, is that we go out and get a bunch of customers. We have too many customers that we can't service. And when you spend all of your time servicing customers, you don't have enough time to sell new customers. Now, let me give you some kryptonite on this. One thing that's going to hold you back from building your business. You've built a business that is susceptible to a sales stall, and every business is, by the way. So you don't or can't expand because of fear. You're scared to death to spend any money because in the past, somewhere along the way, the stop button was hit. It ain't the easy button. The stop button was hit. For some reason, sales weren't happening, money wasn't coming in. You're looking at your P&L every month and seeing you're losing money. You're one of those 67%, and man, you're freaking out. So you start contracting, retreating, cost controlling it. Quit spending any money. So you're susceptible to a sales stall. Now, every business in the world is susceptible to this. This is why you have to ramp up on activity so that you never have too few people in the pipeline that you are killing it. So if you lose one, you got 10 others lined up. You're watching Coach Micheal Burt. This is the Super Coach. When we come back, I'm going to talk to you about how not to be a commodity, because that's one thing that keeps us from going over the million mark, and how when you're selling an average product or service, even Steve Jobs had a hard time selling some of the computers that he created. And that created a sales stall. The first million is always the hardest. You're watching the Super Coach Micheal Burt. Hey guys, Coach Micheal Burt, the Super Coach. Come and spend 2 days with me and learn every trick, every strategy, every tool, every technique I use to become a person of interest. I've got my Person of Interest Mastery course coming May 13th and 14th outside of Nashville, Tennessee. Spend 2 days with me, dinner with me, time with our staff, and I'll teach you every strategy on how to become the celebrity in your space that dominates. You get licensed in the content to teach it for money. You get all of the content with the books, the QR books, and all the handouts and PowerPoints. Come spend 2 days with me. Person of Interest Mastery. You'll walk away and be the dominant player in your space. Hey, welcome back to Super Coach. Today we're talking the first million is the hardest. Less than 4% of small businesses will ever break the $1 million threshold in their businesses. 67% of small businesses break even or lose money every month. That's why the first million is the hardest. Now, here's the best part. Once you get to a mil, you're not a billy killer, but even Jim Rohn said every now and then a billionaire invites a millionaire to the party. Here's the deal. First breakthrough is $100,000. Second breakthrough is $250,000. Second breakthrough is $500,000. Then $750,000. Then $1 million. Then you start thinking in multiples. How do I get to 5? How do I get to 10? Today we're talking what would keep you from getting to the $1 million threshold. If you got questions for me out there, tweet them at Micheal Burt. Pretty soon we're going to start accepting callers calling to the Super Coach Show. We're going to be having some great guests come up in the next couple of weeks. Now, I gave you 2 reasons that's keeping you from the $1 million level. Number 1, you got poor business design. Number 2, you don't have the capital or won't spend any money to get any better. You won't reinvest because you're freaked out because your sales are stalling. Number 3, one thing that's going to stop you is commoditization. Here's the deal. People think they can get it better, faster, cheaper. Then you in trouble, Jack. You in trouble because you have not created a differential advantage. The first thing I think is hard to do is get people's attention. So my question to you is, what is your obscurity strategy? What are you doing to go out into the market and grab attention and pull it back into you? This is hard, man, because the world's moving so fast. People don't have time for commodities. Go back and watch my show or listen to my show, Turn Your Elevator Pitch into Money. How do you turn your explanational services into money? Most people compete on the same thing. So let me give you 3 places I think you can win. Number 1, you've got a better product or service than other people. Your widget is better than other people's widget. In 08-09, I was consulting a $2.2 billion bank, and we were selling a product that was a checking account that earned 4.7% interest. It's easy to sell a checking account that got 4.7% interest when all the rest of those have 1% interest. Product was clearly better. Many people think Apple products are clearly better than other people's products. But if your product's not better, the only place you can win now is on your delivery of that product or service, or your unique perspective that you bring to the equation that makes you different. There's something going on up here that's just smarter than everybody else's. It's an all-out war to get attention, man. It's an all-out war to get attention. But you hear me say it multiple times on the show. Money follows attention. Money follows energy. The people that are building million, multi-million, billion-dollar businesses know this. They got to get attention. So number 3 is you're stuck in a commoditization trap. Your widget or product's not any better than anybody else's. And because of that, you are obscure to a bigger market. A few weeks ago, I was in New York City for our Monster Producer Summit. 6 million people in New York City. Man, you think bigger, you dream bigger, you move faster. Because 6 million people, surely to hell you can sell somebody something. You go back to a small town, small community, you start thinking, man, but it's not. You can dominate your backyard just like you dominate the whole yard. Number 4, and the final thing, your product or service is just average. You figured out that all the sales in the world, now I've been rereading a Jobs book, Becoming Steve Jobs, and Steve Jobs, after he made the Apple II, of which they milked for over 10 years, it produced 70% of the revenue for Apple. Now think about that. 70% of the money that made Steve Jobs worth $256 million on the first go-around was off one product. Then he goes to work on the Macintosh. Then he goes to work on the Lisa. Then he goes to work on the Next. He went out to the market, and colleges and universities said, we have got to have this product at $3,000. We've also got to have it in the summer when we make these decisions. They were late. They brought it out in the fall, and guess how much it cost? $10,000. Ain't nobody going to pay $10,000 for a $3,000 computer. Wasn't even that good because he wanted all these features on this. So even Steve Jobs, as brilliant as a marketer as he is, found out that if your product's not any good, you ultimately dry up because you're not delivering the goods. There's probably some kryptonite holding you back on this one. Let me give you another kryptonite right here that's going to hold you back. That's what the super coach does. You have a quality business. You got a good business, man, but here's the problem. You're fighting obscurity. You have the ultimate obscurity problem. What you need is a great marketing strategy. It's not that you're not wonderful. It's not that you're not great. There's just not enough people in the world that know who you are. First step to getting business is getting attention. First step to breaking through the $1 million mark is playing with bigger players. When we come back in segment number 4, we're going to talk about strategies I'm personally using breaking through the $1 million mark, strategies you can use. I'm going to give you 4. T-Bone Pickens has said, hey, first billion is the hardest, but I guarantee you, old T-Bone started with $1 million. You're watching Super Coach, and I'm Coach Micheal Burt. 2015 is the year of the monster. I'm talking about a legendary creature that combines multiple skill sets to dominate a market. You see, I got a new coaching program, and I'm looking for people who want to have a monster year. Once a month coaching program for 3 hours with other like-minded monsters in a structured environment with key measurable outcomes and lots of accountability. You see, the monster coaching program is coming, and we've already got 22 monsters signed up. Will you be in the class? Are you somewhere else in the country? No worries. We'll be live streaming this with workshops every month online. You can come into Murfreesboro, Tennessee, where our monsters will be every single month for 3 hours. We also have 2 destination summits, one in New York City in April and one in Cabo San Lucas in the fall, and then a big celebration. If you're interested in being a monster, come on and join us. You get the Monster Producer Planner, you get the book, you get the app, and you get me coaching the heck out of you to be a legendary creature that combines multiple skill sets to dominate a market in 2015. Go to monsterproducer.com. That Monster Producer, man, I love it. I love that coaching class. We've got lots of people in Monster Producer online or in person. Actually, this Friday is my next class for May. First Friday of every month, 2 hours with me. Lots of structure and accountability, key measurable outcomes with other freaks, other like-minded creatures. Go on to monsterproducer.com and join me in person or online and become a legendary creature. Let me tell you what every person in that room wants. Break through the $1 million level. Break through the $1 million level. The first million's the hardest. I think I called him T-Bone Pickens. It's T-Boone Pickens. Said the first billion's the hardest. Let's get to $1 million first. Let's get to 100,000 first. then get to 250, then get to 500, then let's blow it up and add some digits and zeros. Today we're talking first million is the hardest. Let me give you 5 quick ways on how to break through the $1 million level. Number 1, create a product that is so strong you can add a sales team to it. Now, starting next week, I am multiplying our sales team. And what I mean by that are commission-based, 100% commission-based, people who are young, hungry, vibrant, ready to get out there and get after it. We're going to bring them in, and they're going to sell programs that look like this. For kids, School of Greatness. For entrepreneurs, Monster Producer. For managers, turn your managers into coaches. For small businesses, membership, group membership. For sales professionals, Cheetah School of Selling. We've got all these products, and then we're going to multiply the sales team. But here's the deal. People won't sign up to come work for 100% commission unless they think you have a product they can sell and prosper from. My buddy Cardone has figured this out. He's got 50 people selling for him, but they can sell a product. He's went out and made his business very attractive. Number 2, move from services to products. You see, when you build a service-based business, if you're thinking about building a business, one thing I never thought about is how labor-intensive a service-based business is. You got customers, you got customer problems, you got constant scheduling. When you build a product, that product ships, that product sells. The people that buy my Monster Producer Planner, we don't ever hear from them, man. They just start using the planner. They don't call us. They don't expect things from us. They don't need anything from us. So I would tell you, if you hadn't started your business, build a product-based business versus a service business. Because one, I think you can get there. Now, service businesses can make a lot of money, but they're very time-consuming. Number 3, milk the great products you already have. If I was coaching my own self, I'd say, man, Monster Producer is a big hit. Milk the product, man. Sell 100 Monster Producers before you move on to new products and services. You see, Steve Jobs, when we refer back to him, everybody at Apple wanted to milk the Apple too, except Jobs. Jobs was ready to move on to something else. Move on to the Macintosh. Move on to the Lisa. Everybody said, man, 70% of our money is coming from this one product. Milk the products that work. Get rid of the products that cost you time and energy and money that are not working. And everybody has those products. Number 4, sell to a global market. When we created our online membership, when we created the ability for a person to get coached up anywhere in the world, we have people right now in Mexico, Rodrigo, that's on our corporate membership. We've had people in Australia, in California. We got people all over the world that are getting coaching online. Now we're selling to a global economy. It's not local. So if you want to break the $1 million level, open the floodgates up, man. Open the floodgates that anybody can buy it. Get you a sales team and multiply that sales team. Make about 1,000 calls a week, 2 people and prospects. I guarantee you'll sell more. And here's the best one I'm going to give you all day long. Number 5, find bigger problems to solve. Money only changes hands when problems are solved. When you solve little bitty problems, you make little bitty money. You don't become a multi-millionaire by solving small problems. You become a multi-millionaire by solving big, juicy problems. Anytime I forget what we're doing when it comes to selling, I always come back to this one thing. We are in the business of solving other people's problems. Our Monster Producer Planner is a planner tied to a selling system. It solves a problem of being able to organize your information in one place and attack a week. My book, Person of Interest, helps you overcome the obscurity problem. Zebras and Cheetahs helps you to look different and to run faster in a saturated and commoditized world. It's got to solve a problem. The Super Coach Show teaches you how to multiply your life and your money and your business. Everybody needs a coach in life because the problem they have is they're stuck. They're complacent. They want to elevate. You have got to understand, to build a $1 million company and break through, you've got to sell and solve bigger problems. Let me give you the final kryptonite of this show. Here's what I know. Your product or service is just average, baby. So you're seen as a commodity. Nobody out there can differentiate what makes you different. They can't figure out why you're solving problems any better than anybody else. So in the eyes of the world, you hadn't got my attention and you're not in the flow of my life and you haven't created enough value for me to part with money out of my pocket and give it to you. I do believe that the first million's the hardest. I believe that I'm a small business owner just like you, and I'm going out there in the world and I'm beating the bushes and I'm making the phone calls and I'm selling people, and it ain't all TV shows and airplanes and pretty. It's get in the office and work your hind end off to create a better life for your family and your people and the people you serve every single day. If you're interested in joining Coach Burt's sales team, give us an email, info@coachburt.com. If you're interested in changing people's lives, we believe a good coach can change your life. We believe 1 hour can be your coach, your radio, your podcast, your TV show. Go to coachburt.com. Follow me at Micheal Burt. And remember this, everybody needs a coach in life, and everybody specifically needs one if they're trying to break through the $1 million level. Have a great week, everybody.